Hello to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska and this is Poland Daily Culture. Have you ever think what is one of the most mysterious book in the world? And we tell this to you that it is Voynich manuscript. And in order to learn more about it, I have Bartłomiej Feloś, a member of Manuscriptum Publishing House, who will tell us about unique work which you are doing, especially with this manuscript. We are wearing gloves in order not to destroy anything in the books which you have created, because they are absolutely unique. So basically, Voynich. Michał Voynich is not a name which every single Pole which will know who he was, but they kind of should, because this manuscript and this book is one of the biggest mystery in the world, because actually no one knows what's inside. Tell me please, who tried to break this code?
Well, among a lot of scientists, among a lot of people who were fascinating with this unique and very mystery book, of course there were a lot of cryptologists from around the world. Among them, there are Polish cryptologists, famous. One of them, Dr. Grajek, which is a quite strong personality in the world of Polish cryptologists, were trying to explain what it's about. Of course, nobody can tell. At the moment that somebody will say, yes, I could decode the language, it will be a moment of glory as well for the cryptologists. One of very famous names we're focusing on them, which is one of these scientists who were decoding the Enigma code. It was Mr. Turing, who was as well focusing on manuscript, Voynich manuscript.
And he couldn't learn what's inside, in fact. So that's really, really fascinating. And I myself, I would even say troubled with why is it all inside? What's the mystery? And what kind of language is written? So you've mentioned before that this language was put also and analyzed by a scientific intelligence. And they try to compare it to languages from the time it was written, so from 15th century, but they could not actually discover and learn and break the code.
Exactly. Even artificial intelligence could not decrypt the language. All the theories collapsed. Till now, we don't know anything. We still don't know anything. We know the pictures, we know these illuminations from inside the book. Will not help us to decode the language, unfortunately. There are millions of people around the world call it Voynichologists, and they are trying to work to make the studies, to make an experiments on the manuscript. But so far, unfortunately, all the theories were collapsed. Each copy that we have already have been distributed to different parts of the world, because all around the world there are people who are really focusing on them.
Who already purchased the book in order to discover what's inside? Where are your copies right now?
Mostly they are, of course, here in Poland, because in Poland there are probably a few 100,000 people that are interested in the manuscript. The good thing for us, and this is the main point of our discussion here, is that the Voynich is a Polish guy, very famous Polish antiquarian book sailor, famous around the world in the beginning of 20th century, who was big Polish patriot. The interesting fact, in the beginning of Polish independence, he promised that for the 1 year, every day he will be sending to the Polish National Library, the new one that were at that time newborn Polish National Library. He was sending every day for 1 year one of the collection of his manuscript to the
library.
To the library.
In order to rebuild it and remake it.
Yes, he promised, he did it. And,
so Voynich actually contributed a lot to Polish culture.
A lot. Even if he was a revolutionist sent by Russians to Siberia at that time, he was one of the few people that escaped from the Siberia. Yes, and
hopefully, and then found the manuscript.
Exactly.
And made it world famous, and a mystery until today.
Interesting fact is that he was a friend of Piłsudski.
Oh, interesting.
So sometimes we can find the data about Voynich that are connected to the name of Józef Piłsudski.
But still, the book, well, it was found. Maybe it was given to him by the aliens.
Well, it can be a joke, but nobody knows, so I cannot say yes, I cannot say no. At least
and
more people.
There are elements of cuisine, so there are recipes here in order to cook, even the ingredients, but we don't know how to cook it.
Yes, exactly. Each page, it brings a kind of mystery, and there are 6 sections of the book. I mentioned botanical, balneological, or astrological, but as well there is a part with recipes, probably the recipes of medicines, special treatments for people. The interesting fact is that on one side of the page we have the plants that probably we have to mix all together and put in the certain kind of box, so boiling boxes, and the mixture, the result should bring certain results. We don't know what is it.
Maybe there is a medicine for coronavirus there.
Maybe,
or cancer.
Maybe it's true. Interesting thing is that here we see the cover, which is covered with the parchment.
Yes.
But the most probably the original book was covered with the wood. Yes. We know it because the first pages from each side, from reverse and others, they are destroyed by bugs. So it looks like these bugs came from wood. And they were unfortunately
eating the manuscript.
Some pages in the front and the last pages.
Hopefully, luckily, you've created this perfect copy of it.
Yes, you keep in your hand one of the 600 copies. Of course, as I mentioned before, we produce it one by one. Each copy is certified by a lawyer. It has a notary's certificate, and each one is numbered.
Well, there's the only excuse that you purchase a book and actually you didn't read it, because so if anyone asks, have you basically read every single book in your library, you could say, not every single one.
Yes, interesting thing is that to each book that we publish, which are the old manuscripts or copies of the old manuscript, we always add a kind of commentary or translation. In this case,
no translation.
We couldn't do anything. So it just goes with the certificate.
It's absolutely amazing, and I do hope that the audience of Poland Daily will find out and will maybe get involved in discovering the Voynich manuscript secret, and because it might be one of the most mysterious book in the world, and I'm holding it right now in my hands. I do hope that you envy me, and thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.